Alright, today I know it seems like a menial task, but my trailer lights are out on my trailer, and it needs some other repairs too, as you can see. But this is the trailer that I use to haul all the produce and pallets and any big things that I need to haul, so it's kind of crucial to the farm. So taillight's not working, just inevitably I'm going to get pulled over eventually. So instead of going with the classic style of headlights, went ahead and got some LED headlights off the internet from China, and these should work for a lot longer because the LEDs don't burn out as quickly, and if they do, it's usually just a few of them and not the whole light. So it should keep me from having to replace bulbs and etc. on this son of a bitch, as long as I can keep the wiring good. So I'm gonna go through here and look at all the wires, pull this old stuff off. Okay, got those two old son of bitches off there. They haven't worked in like 29 years at least. And now I'm gonna cut the wires back. Like on this side, for instance, there's some crimps in here already, and I'm gonna try to eliminate those. So I'm gonna cut them back before the crimps, and then use a multimeter to test the continuity of the wire and see if it's good or not. Okay, I went ahead and tested the wire from the lights up down back to right here. This is where the two sides come together up front, and they're good till here, so I'm not gonna waste my time trying to replace it. I'm just gonna splice onto them right here and bring them up along the bottom here. Okay, first things first, this is where the ground connection is for the trailer, and I don't have any of those crimps on me. I'm gonna try to pull that one off and reuse it. Okay, now it's not probably recommended to reuse these things, but what you do, or what I'm going to do, is just remove that plastic, and so you can see right there where the metal's crimped together. I'm going to take something like a channel locks, try to open that back up. Okay, I got that clasp opened up. Now I'm going to take a file or a wire brush or something and just expose that copper a little bit better. Okay, got that son of a gun cleaned up and shiny, and got a new crimp job on there, and that's going to be my ground connection. Okay, got that new ground wire put on there, and looking at these wires are a little bit chewed up. I don't see any there's a couple breaks in the insulation, so I'm going to cut this one back and cut that one back, and then join these two grounds together with this one. Okay, as usual, although I'm trying to do this project the right way and get it to work for a long time, I'm also scavenging materials. So I've got a bunch of this wire left from a job I did in Tulsa, and it's a shielded wire. So you got this shield, and then you got another shield, but then you got 4 conductors inside. Stranded conductors. I don't know, I can't remember if there's a data type or control type wire, but so I've got these 4 wires, and that's all I need to go from the hitch up here back to the connection I've got back there. So I think this wire that's shielded like this will probably last a little bit longer, you know, in case it drags the ground, or in case any kind of wear and tear happens on it. It's got that metal sheath to protect the wires. So I'm going to run this down through here and meet up down there with those other connections that I got. Okay, got these wires ran down this channel right here up to the trailer hitch, and got them all crimped up. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the rest of this slack out and use some zip ties to secure these wires up so they don't get caught and rip back off. I got all that cinched up pretty well. I think the main reason why my last light connector got ripped off was because there was so much excess wiring on it. It was hanging down like this far, and the one on the truck hangs down about that far too, and it was just catching the ground. So I'm actually going to make this pretty tight. Probably going to try to do it up right about there, and then if it's too long yet, I'll even zip tie these wires back a little bit. One of the things that I like to do when I'm making up these crimp connections like this, okay, I take the 2 wires. If there's a thinner wire, I strip a little bit extra length on that. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I've already twisted each one of these wires and made sure they're tight on themselves. Now I'm gonna twist them both together for a little bit. Okay, and I got them both twisted together pretty well. And to actually keep the connector from coming apart and keep these 2 wires from slipping apart, I'm gonna fold the wires, now that they're twisted, back on themselves a little bit, okay? And now at this point, I'm gonna insert this into the crimp connector, and I always like to twist these things and make sure they're going on, twist and push at the same time, okay? The ideal point is when you can see the wire actually coming out on the other side of this crimp barrel in there, and I can see that. So now they make crimpers for these, but the only crimper I have on me is this one, and you can crimp it up here, but I find that when you crimp that, and if you over pinch it and everything, it might tear through the insulation on this connector here and end up causing you to have a short. So for small crimp terminals like this, I actually use my channel locks, and I'm just gonna grab it there real tight and pinch it down here at the very end of the channel locks and just squeeze the shit out of it once that way, and then I go a couple times this way too, a couple like that, and just pinch the shit out of it, but there's no damage to the insulation. Okay, now at the very end of making one of these connections, I like to tug on the wires. Grab on the splice connector, grab on each one of the individual wires, give it a decent tug. Okay, it's good. Another thing you want to check for before you wire this thing up to power is you always want to make sure there's no breaks in your insulation on these wires. And now you've made your crimps, then just make sure you don't have any stray wires that are poking up out through here, because sometimes you might have a strand or two that got away from you and it'll be sticking out the end here, and that can ground out and that can short you out and mess you up. So alright, I didn't really realize this when I got started on this project, but I guess the connector on the damn truck ripped off too. It must have been something pretty serious. So got these wires coming out here, and I went and had to buy a new connector at old Rat Ace for $3.99. And so we're gonna make this up right here so we can test those lights. Over here on the truck, I'm not actually gonna shorten up these wires any. I'm gonna leave these because these are all still in really good condition, and the wire insulation is not nicked or anything. Got a place down there that I can zip tie these up to. I'm gonna leave it about that long, I mean, plus the length of this. And if it's too long, I can shrink it back. But the main deal is I don't want to cut these wires because they're still in good condition and they're still on the truck. It's a lot easier to replace the wires on the trailer for me. I don't have to crawl underneath anything, so I'm gonna leave these ones. A good tip when you're reusing wires from an existing, whether it's a building or even with vehicles or anything like that, you need to inspect the wires, because as they get older, the insulation will start cracking really easily, and sometimes when they get hot during use and stuff like that, the insulation will be compromised. So you always need to check at least the visible portion of wires. Just hold them in your hand, stretch them out, and just roll them and give them a visual check. And if you can't see any compromise to the insulation and it all looks good, you don't got to worry about it. But like these two wires right here, they looked like they had gotten pinched, or in some other way they had gotten cracked a little bit on the insulation. So I just took some, I like to use Scotch 33 plus tape. It's really good electrical tape. It's top grade. You don't want to get that Jap wrap, that cheap, Chinese made stuff, because it doesn't stick very well in the beginning and it doesn't hold very long. This stuff here is real good. You can get it on there, you can stretch it tight, you can make a pretty decent wrap on it, and that's just gonna protect any of this insulation. Like if that wire was exposed and it rubs up against the body of the truck, that's going to be connected to neutral, so it's going to be a direct short and you're going to blow a fuse, and you don't want to do that. So I'm just giving these wires a visual pat down real quick and then making them up. Okay, I got all these crimp connections done, and got the
National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum is launching their new exhibit titled Hollywood and the American West that will
I got the truck wiring connection set up, and I'm just going to leave these wires loose right now for testing. Alright, these LED light kits that I was able to find on eBay for a pretty reasonable price. Unfortunately, the wires are not labeled and they did not come with a wiring diagram. So, coming from the trailer light hookup, I've got a black, a white, and a yellow. I know white is ground. Black is the running lights, and yellow is the left turn light signal. So because I've got a white wire here, and industry standard for DC ground is white, I'm going to hook up the white here and touch the wires to it until I can get the actual running lights to come on here. I've got the neutral or ground wire connected here, the negative DC wire, I'm assuming, and I've got the 2 wires coming from the truck here stripped, and I'm going to go ahead right now, because I'm still testing, I'm going to use wire nuts because they're easy to remove, and if I actually use crimps just for testing, then I end up having to cut them off, so there's no point to that. I'm going to leave one of these wires bare on this side, and I'm going to test that one first, touching it. I've got 2 unknown wires here coming from my tail light, so I'm going to strip those and touch those one at a time to the running, what I'm assuming is the running light, but we're going to find out which one of these wires powers whether it's the turn light or the running light. Another important step, because I'm going to be plugging in the trailer lights, these wires on this side are going to be live too. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some wire nuts on these. That way, once I plug in the lights and turn them on, if one of these wires happened to be touching the trailer, it's not going to short out and blow the fuse. So I've got those capped off, and that's safe. And we're going to go ahead and work over here on the left side. Went ahead and started up the truck, and I terminated this connector right here. So I've got the trailer plugged into the truck wiring, and everything's wire nutted off and not touching anything, so we're safe. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the lights now. So the running lights are on now, but I don't have any turn signals on, and I'm assuming I've got the negative wire hooked up. Now at this point, I'm going to take the wire from the trailer hitch that is meant for running lights and touch it one at a time to the gray wire and the red wire coming from my LED kit. Okay, looks like the gray wire is turn signal here on the side. Touching the red wire turns on my running lights or brake lights. So I'm going to turn the truck off now, and now that I know that the red goes to my black, I'm going to make that up. I went ahead and permanently crimped all of these connections here and checked them for stability, and now I'm gonna kind of wrap these wires up and zip tie them so they don't catch on any loose ends. After zip tying, I think the wires are pretty well confined and constricted so where they won't catch on anything major. I mean, if I'm driving over something that's going to catch those, I probably shouldn't be driving with these tires. So now that I know which wires are which on these LED fixtures, I'm going to go ahead and strip and crimp this side too. The second right side now is all wired up and good to go. Now I'm going to plug in the truck and turn her on and see how we're working. Okay, the truck is started up and plugged in, all the lights. So I'm going to go up there and turn on the lights. Okay, looks like the running lights are working. Okay, both blinkers are working. But unfortunately, I have bad things to say about this Chinese company. I mean, the fact that they didn't send a diagram is bad enough, but look at this. Okay, this light right here has another blinker section right here that blinks white with LEDs, 4 of them in there. And then this other son of a gun light that they sent me. Okay, it's got that one, yeah, but it doesn't even have that one. So they sent me 2 different models